This course comes with a PDF, which is the book for the course, and each chapter corresponds to the sections. For example, Chapter 1 deals with materials in the book, and that corresponds to the course. Now, there are many software programs that will open up PDF documents. I'm using Adobe Acrobat. Regardless, if you have this open in Acrobat, we can go to View and then Page Display. And then we can enable scrolling if we want to be able to scroll through the spreads instead of it jumping to the next spread if we want a smoother experience. Also, make sure we don't have two-page view checked. If we have that, we will have 4 pages open at the same time, and we will have to really zoom in to see the text and the content. So up under View, let's go to Page Display, and then just set it to enable scrolling, or you can do single page view, and it will jump between the pages like that. So that's really just personal preference between single page view and enable scrolling. Now on the table of contents, we have clickable links, and I'm going to set this to 100% view. If you have it closer, like 400%, it's going to pixelate because it has some raster images, either JPEGs or PNG. So set that to 100% view and it should look fine. And we can click on these links here in the table of contents, and that will jump to that specific page. Then we can scroll back up with the mouse or just click and drag over on the side here with the mouse to navigate back to the table of contents. So we can click anywhere in there to quickly get to a specific chapter. And again, section 9, for example, is about product sketching. And here chapter 9 is about product sketching. So in the course, the sections correspond to these chapters here. So it can be helpful to read this material before you follow along. Some of it is more background information though, and you don't necessarily have to read it, but it can be helpful for background information. So this information about the materials is also in a text lecture in the course, and we have some more information about hardness scales for the numerical graphite scale and also the HB scale. Now chapter 2 corresponds to section 2, and there's just an overview here of different techniques, different mark making methods, and we have the worksheets here though. So we can print these specific pages out or just draw rectangles on a sheet of paper or on a paper pad, and we can draw the names below each one, but this corresponds to the video demonstrations. So we have some worksheets in there, and I have some optional additional exercises here, but the idea is that specific methods we want to practice again, we would write the names of those methods right here. Now chapter 3 is on gesture drawing, just like in the course. Section 3 is on gesture drawing, and there's some background information, some famous examples, and that's a painting, not a gesture drawing. But this is a well-known work by Rembrandt, and these are gesture drawings by Rembrandt that you might not be as familiar with compared to the painting. And some work by Raphael, Leonardo da Vinci. And then these support files are also in the zipped folder that has subfolders that correspond to the different sections. So students can either download that zipped folder, which is attached as a resource, and just decompress it. You can double click on it on the Mac, or right click on it and click on extract to or decompress, whatever it is on the PC, and that will decompress that zip file to a folder. And that has all the photos to follow along with as far as photo references. But they're also in this book. So chapter 4 corresponds to section 4. It's just about drawing basic shapes effectively, how to combine them for new drawings, more complicated and complex drawings, and so on. This is an optional exercise where you would draw some of these and combine them for new shapes and new objects. And chapter 5 deals with structural drawing, and section 5 in the course focuses on structural drawing. So some background information, and again, these are also in the course as support files, but they're also in the book. And we have the worksheet here. We can print a couple copies of this specific page, or you could draw that with a ruler or by hand on new sheets of paper or on a paper pad. And again, we're practicing drawing ellipses as they get skinnier and skinnier there, for drawing cylinders and also for drawing the base of cones. Then we go beyond that. After learning how to draw shapes effectively and also how to draw forms effectively, we're drawing structure-based objects or form-based objects, a tennis ball, a makeup container, a GameCube, which is an older video game console, and a funnel. So this is sphere-based, cylinder-based, cube-based, and cone-based. So again, we have the support files here, and they are also photo files in the support files. Now, value, lighting, and shading, that is section 7 in the course, and we have some support files here from an earlier section on structural drawing, but they're also here because they do have the shading here, the specular highlight, the form shadow, cast shadow, core shadow, and so on. And I also have some images in here from Adobe Dimension. It is not required to have access to a 3D modeling program or a 3D rendering and design program, but it can be helpful to move lights around these fundamental forms in a program like that to understand how light interacts with it. Of course, you can also draw from a real-life subject. An object such as a tennis ball has a sphere shape to it, so that's a great way to practice drawing those forms as well. Now, this is optional. It's a value terms exercise, and I just have areas to write in the correct answer, and the answers are upside down there at the bottom in case you want to check for the correct answers. All right, but this is covered in a video lesson as well. Now, I have some more photos, and I think looking at photos that use value, specular highlights, shadows, a variation of value within the composition, I think that can be helpful for students wanting to understand value and how light works with objects and scenery and people within these scenes and within the composition. So we have some more examples here, and then some screenshots of the different projects. And then we have composition in both drawing and logo design in section 8 in the course and chapter 8 here in the book. So I include different examples of, for example, the rule of thirds, focal point, and this is one example of focal point, of applying focal point. These are photos that illustrate that as well. Using a grid, a golden ratio, using scale to show size and relationships of size in a composition, and also overlapping. So that's all in there. As far as logo design, we have drawing a symmetrical logo, and these are just example shapes that are symmetrical, asymmetrical, and then radial and rotational. So this is covered in the course as well as far as these corporate logos to draw as examples. And then we have formal subdivision, and I do have a page here, and informal subdivision, a page here, and a page here. 3 pages out of a book that has about 300 pages. So it can be considered fair use. We're commenting on it, and we're including a very small percentage of those pages from Andrew Loomis's work, Creative Illustration, that goes over formal and informal subdivision. We also have directional lines, perspective. Jonathan goes over perspective more in its own section later. And then we have the worksheets here, but again, you can just draw rectangles in a paper pad or on sheets of paper, draw the names below instead of printing them out. So that's optional, but we include the worksheets here and some extra practice here in the book. Now, product sketching takes what you learned earlier in terms of composition, value, lighting and shading, mark making, line work, and structural drawing. And instead of drawing form-based products like a sphere-based product, a cone-based product, and so on, students draw objects that are based on a number of fundamental forms put together. So there are different cylinders in here put together, maybe some cube-like shapes, and so on. So we have a still life of an olive oil bottle with a banana, and also a power drill. So those are more advanced than the earlier drawings. Then we have chapter 10, the fundamentals of drawing the head and face, and this is an area where some designers and artists struggle. So Jonathan goes over the correct proportions as far as drawing the face, and the idea is that you repeat these steps with this worksheet, or again, you can draw on a new sheet of paper or a paper pad 6 circles, and you follow along and repeat these steps to draw the portrait. And so that will help with muscle memory and learning these proportions as far as the face goes. And finally, chapter 11 deals with drawing in perspective, talk about foreshortening and the different terms to know. in drawing in perspective, and then you'll draw various cubes, a cylinder, and an interior scene in 1-point perspective. And this gives the background of linear perspective. So this includes the background of linear perspective, and beyond 1-point perspective, there's also 2-point perspective, and these are two examples from the same French Impressionist artists. So we have 2-point perspective, and then we go into a specific activity, and this is an optional additional exercise of drawing 2 cubes, which could also be buildings, in 2-point perspective. So we have step 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And so we have 2 vanishing points on the horizon line instead of 1, and we end up with this drawing here. And again, that's optional. We've also included 3-point perspective in here to draw a quick building. There's also 4-point perspective and beyond, and those are called curvilinear perspective, and it looks kind of like a fisheye lens, right? In photography, we can use a super wide angle or an ultra wide angle lens or a fisheye lens. So some more background about perspective is in the text, and we think that's helpful because it gives a little bit more background in text and photo format, and also the support files in here, the worksheets are in here, and just more examples of these different drawing methods are in here as well. So again, that's a downloadable PDF linked as a resource in the course.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Simon, and in this course, I'm going to teach you how to draw.
Would you like to learn how to draw more effectively in order to produce beautiful and interesting drawings, as well as functional and aesthetically pleasing designs? Maybe you are a graphic designer who wants to add the drawing process to your workflow. Whether you are working on logos, editorial layouts, or digital productions such as websites or app designs. Maybe you are not a designer but want to communicate more effectively in visual form. Drawing is a skill that can be used in many different careers and not just design. For example, the various types of composition included in this course, including the rule of thirds, formal and informal subdivision, focal point, rotational symmetry, and the many other types of composition can be applied in drawings, but also designs and even photography. Drawing as part of the design process is something taught at prominent art schools, and it is used at various prestigious design agencies to this day. Drawing can be used as part of the brainstorming stage, the sketching stage, and even later parts of the design process. In this course, you will learn how to apply effective mark-making techniques, gesture drawing, value with shading and lighting, effective methods for drawing various shapes and forms, structural drawing, product sketching, the fundamentals of drawing the head and the face, drawing in perspective, and much more. By the time you have completed this course, you will have produced various drawings and designs that you could add to your portfolio. When you improve your drawing skills, you open the door to many more design possibilities. Producing beautiful drawings and interesting designs can be fun, but it can also be financially rewarding when you use it during your career or as part of freelance design work. This course comes with over 10 hours of helpful video demonstrations, from structural drawings to product sketches, to applying many different types of composition in drawings and logo designs, to many other types of drawings. The Drawing for Designers PDF book is also included with enrollment, which has 108 pages of content, including historical background and further explanation of some of the drawing methods, worksheet pages to print out or draw, support file photos, and additional exercises. You also get access to all the photo reference support files and access to our critique forum and community in the Drawing for Designers Facebook group after enrollment. Once you enroll, you have lifetime access so you can complete the course at your own pace as you improve your drawing and sketching skills. Please check out the other free sample videos on this course landing page for more information.
I'm Jonathan, a professional artist and educator. I've been teaching students how to draw for many years now. As a university professor of drawing and painting, I've had a lifetime career in art, from graphic design to illustration to digital illustration. Before becoming a full-time artist, commercially my work and illustrations have been published on various magazine covers, advertisements, and commissioned for various companies. Some of my art has been featured in prominent galleries throughout the United States. In this course, my professional experience and education will provide you with expert guidance as you improve your drawing skills. My goal is to equip you with the skills and knowledge you need to produce amazing drawings. Jump on in the course and start drawing today. Get feedback from me and your peers as you build your skills and your portfolio. I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you're not satisfied, you can get a refund. But I know you'll love this course as you start to produce beautiful drawings. So don't wait. Join today, and I'll see you in this course.